Tuesday's greetings and thank you for joining us for tonight's edition of Primetime News. I'm Selima Shimwefeleni Masipa. As always, we call upon you, if it's your first time joining us, please subscribe, press the like button, and be sure to click on the notifications bell to stay abreast with the latest happenings locally and globally. We begin the bulletin with the National Planning Commission, which has been allocated about 183 million Namibian dollars to implement key activities of the 6th National Development Plan, Vision 2030, and economic development. Let's get more details from our first report, compiled by Linnea Dishena.
The National Planning Commission achieved its proposed objectives aimed at achieving medium and long-term development priorities during the financial year 2021-2022. The agency conducted research and produced various documents on several topics with the view of ensuring effective implementation, monitoring of current plans and decision making, but also to enable policymakers to better allocate resources and more effectively formulate targeted policies. Specifically, the agency undertook several research studies whose conclusions and recommendations inform the country's socio-economic development. A synopsis of some of these reports and activities are outlined below. The 6th National Development Plan, NDP 6 White Paper. NDP 5 was implemented during the 5-year period 2017-18, 2021-2022, ending in March 2022. Hence the need to develop the next NDP in a series of Vision 2030 implementation. To this end, the agency formulated the NDP 6 White Paper, which sought to highlight and guide the development of NDP 6. In view of this, the White Paper proposed 3 main overarching development objectives: curbing the rising unemployment level, reducing poverty in all its dimensions, and reducing inequality in all its forms. 4 interlinked developmental pillars are proposed with a central theme of recovery, transformation, and resilience. The 4 developmental pillars are: A. Economic recovery, transformation, and resilience. B. Human development and community resilience. C. Sustainable development and green growth opportunities. D. Effective governance and public service delivery.
On to health matters. The 3-day One Health Nation antimicrobial resistance stakeholder meeting and workshops kicked off in the capital earlier today. Speaking at the launch, Chief Veterinary Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Forestry, Albertina Shilongo, said they recognize that the key to tackling antimicrobial resistance lies with prevention and control of infections in humans and animals, as well as in the environment. Lydia Pitiri produced this story.
Antimicrobial resistance, the ability of microorganisms to persist and grow in the presence of drugs designed to inhibit or kill them, is compromising the ability to treat infectious diseases, as well as undermining many other advances in the health and medicine. Antibiotic resistance has become a high importance as a growing number of pathogens develop resistance to even so-called last resort antibiotics, resulting in the inability to treat previously treatable bacterial diseases. Dear stakeholders, dear participants, we should recognize that the key to tackling AMR lies with the prevention and control of infection in human and animal, as well as in our environment. Therefore, all international health organizations have joined forces to tackle the spread of resistant pathogens.
Deputy Chief Veterinarian Officer Siegfried Geisep noted they want to bring to the attention of animal health stakeholders the danger of antimicrobial resistance.
We also want to review current antibiotic use in the farming community, because we just use any type of antibiotic when animals are sick. And one of the questions were, why approach this health to One Health approach? is because humans, as the consumer of meat, can also develop this antimicrobial resistance in our bodies by consuming the product from animals that are being treated with these antibiotics and not treated correctly.
The workshop is attended by health officials, pharmacists, and veterinarians. The workshop will end on Thursday.
On to news from further afield. The Russian Defense Ministry on Monday said Russia's armed forces have destroyed air defense equipment supplied to Ukraine by a European country. Xinhua brings us the details.
Russian Defense Ministry spokesperson Igor Konashenkov told a daily briefing on April the 10th that high-precision sea-based caliber missiles destroyed the equipment of an S-300 anti-aircraft missile division, which was supplied to Kiev by a European country. The equipment previously hidden in a hangar was destroyed on the southern outskirts of the eastern Ukrainian city of Dnipro. Meanwhile, Russia is continuing its special military operation in Ukraine, and a total of 129 aircraft and 99 helicopters, 243 anti-aircraft missile systems, 441 unmanned aerial vehicles, 2,079 tanks, and other armored combat vehicles, 239 multiple launch rocket systems, 909 field artillery and mortars, as well as 2,003 units of special military vehicles have been destroyed to date.
Still in Europe, EU's High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Josep Borrell, on Monday revealed that European Union foreign ministers did not decide on sanctions targeting Russia's oil and gas. Xinhua again brings us this insert.
Addressing the media following a meeting of the EU's foreign ministers in Luxembourg, Borrell said that although no decision was taken, nothing is off the table, including sanctions on oil and gas. Noting that last year the bill for oil was 4 times that of gas, so it is important to start with oil. He further noted that these sanctions would cause an asymmetric shock between EU countries since the Central and Eastern European member states are heavily dependent on Russian energy imports. He said they continue to discuss how to implement these sanctions to avoid any kind of loopholes. Borrell added they are measuring the impact these sanctions are having on the Russian economy, and they will continue discussing in order to see what else can be done. Borrell rejected the Russian officials' claim that the growing food shortage is due to sanctions on Russia. Instead, he accused Russia of provoking food hunger in the world.
Kindly stand by for your top roundup. In the business and economic segment, tourism ministers and officials from a number of African countries on Monday joined a tourism roundtable in Cape Town, highlighting green tourism connectivity, among others, for Africa's tourism growth. Xinhua brings us more.
An African ministerial roundtable with the theme of tackling challenges for future investments in Africa's tourism industry was held at the Cape Town International Conference Center during the 3-day World Travel Market Africa, where the officials participated in person or virtually. Najib Balala, Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife of Kenya, said there are only about 70 million travelers amongst Africa's 1.3 billion people, while only 26 African cities are connected to international standards. Hence, African countries need to improve connectivity by air and open up their skies to establish a domestic market. In this way, Balala added, airfare can be affordable, and Africa will be able to move from an expensive destination to an affordable one, not only for foreigners but also for domestic people. Balala also suggested relaxing visa regimes in Africa. Ministers also spoke of the need of going green in the tourism sector. Botswana views sustainability as a key to facilitating the growth of the tourism sector, said Botswana Minister of Environment and Natural Resources, Conservation and Tourism, Filda Kereng. The participants also talked about the need for an African coordinated COVID-19 protocol framework, digitalization in the tourism sector, as well as a central financing institution for tourism. World Travel Market Africa includes a business-to-business tourism exhibition as well as other events in order to bring benefits and opportunities to travel professionals in Africa.
In Europe, Germany's Federal Statistical Office Destatis on Monday revealed that prices for gasoline and diesel in the Netherlands, Denmark and Germany are higher than in any other European country. Let's find out the reasons behind this from Xinhua.
In early March, prices of standard e-fuel and diesel at petrol stations in Germany climbed above the €2 per litre mark. The country's Federal Cartel Office said it would closely monitor prices in response to this development. Fuel prices were even higher in the Netherlands and Denmark at €2.11 and €2.09 respectively. However, Germany had the highest prices of diesel of any European country as of the 4th of April. The German government adopted several measures to cushion the effects of rising energy prices, including an increase in the basic tax-free allowance and higher mileage allowance for long-distance commuters.
And with this insert, we've come to the end of the top news for tonight. Kindly stand by for the economics roundup, followed by the weather forecast. In tonight's sports news, we commence in Spain. Atletico Madrid will be forced to close a section of their stadium when they host Manchester City due to the discriminatory behavior of their supporters. City secured a 1-0 advantage in the Champions League quarter-final first leg last Tuesday at the Etihad Stadium. DPA sheds more light on this.
Supporters of the Spanish club were caught on camera performing alleged Nazi salutes during the game, and UEFA subsequently charged the La Liga champions with discriminatory behavior and throwing of objects last Friday. European football's governing body has since ordered Atletico to close part of the Wanda Metropolitano, so at least 5,000 fewer supporters will be able to attend the game against Pep Guardiola's side. UEFA has also ordered Atletico to implement a No to Racism banner when they clash with City on Wednesday. Atletico were previously ordered by UEFA to close part of their stadium in the 2018-2019 Champions League campaign after a racist banner was unfurled during the 2018 Europa League final in Lyon.
More football news. Louis van Gaal confirmed he has successfully undergone treatment for prostate cancer following the reveal of his diagnosis. The Netherlands coach announced he was suffering from the illness on a Dutch television show earlier this month. DPA again brings us the details.
The news raised questions over whether Van Gaal would be well enough to lead the Oranje at this year's World Cup, set to take place in Qatar in November and December. But now the ex-Barcelona and Manchester United boss has revealed he has successfully received a course of action against the cancer. Van Gaal will step down after he has led his country at Qatar 2022, with the Oranje boss looking to better his third-place finish in charge at Brazil 2014. Netherlands next face Belgium, Wales and Poland in their UEFA Nations League kick-off in June.
Kindly stand by for your sports roundup. With the Sport Planet segment, we've come to the end of Tuesday night's edition of Primetime News. Many thanks for tuning in. Once more, another reminder that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, share, and hit the notifications bell to stay posted on the latest happenings locally and globally. Feel free to interact with us as well in the comment section. Do catch us tomorrow for your midweek edition of Primetime News. From myself, Selima Shimwefeleni Masipa, and the entire production crew, it's good night.